Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us on the live stream, we're about to witness a great match. We're coming to you live from Raxx Sports Bar and Grill in West Hempstead, New York. And you're watching the Mike Zuglin, Josh, Northeast 9 Ball Tour. I'm Upstate Al. And Earl Strickland set to get on stage here, and he's going to be playing Travis McKinney. It's a race to 9. This is a B-side match. So the loser of this match will be eliminated from the tournament. And of course, the winner will advance. So this is a great match, and waiting in the wings, you have Jeremy Sosi, Mike DeShane. We got action as you watch Travis McKinney. I believe he plays out of Amsterdam Billiards in Manhattan, New York. Warm up just a bit. And here we go. Now, I was talking to Mr. Strickland last night, and I don't know if you heard the conversation that Larry Ross and I had earlier, but we were talking about, rack and how long it takes. You see Earl took about 3 seconds. Don't time him. He's done with the rack. Travis McKinney set to break. Game 1 in this race to 9. Everything moving, but nothing pocketed as Earl Strickland comes to the table. Earl was here real early himself, practicing, which everybody should do before the tournament starts. Let's sit back and watch Earl Strickland at his best. Once he starts getting in line, it's just so enjoyable. And don't blink, because we clocked him at about 23 seconds for one rack during the set yesterday. Okay, Earl Strickland drawing first blood, 1-0 over Travis McKinney. Some of the sponsors on board with Mr. Zuglin, Josh Hughes, of course, supporting Mr. Zuglin for years. OBQs, Simonis Cloth, AZ Billiards, QZ, Tiger Products, Hydric Custom Cubes, On the Break News, Billiard Community, TotalPool.info, PoolOnTheNet.com, Samsara Hughes. Earl Strickland set the break in game 2. Beautiful shot on the one. Broke him nice and wide open. The angle on the one. I don't know if he can cheat the pocket a little bit to create an angle, but the 2 ball is on the left-hand side, right where he grabbed the chalk from. There's the 2 sitting there. It looks like he is going to cheat the pocket just a bit just to go forward. Nice shot. Then again, Earl's really not out of shape anytime you see him playing. If he does, he puts himself right back in place. Like I said, don't blink. It's now 2-0 in favor of the world champion, Earl Strickland. Multi-world champion. 6-time. Wow. 5-time U.S. Open champion. 6-time world champion. How do you consume this? Nobody can actually talk bad about Earl Strickland. What he's achieved in his lifetime, not many will. I think Mr. Larry Ross is back in the booth now that we have Earl Strickland on the live stream. Larry Ross is definitely back and interested. He's not moving, that I can tell you.
No, I'm moving.
He's not going to move out of the chair this time. He's going to sit right here. He's got the score in front of him.
By the way, Travis happens to be a very nice young man. He's a professor at Rutgers University, teaches English.
Does he play out of Amsterdam Billiards?
I don't know where he plays. I just had a little conversation with him and
He's a very nice
friend
guy
that he's with,
yeah.
who happens to be a lady attorney, very, very nice. And Earl just went in the soup with the cue ball. That's life. Travis can play, or else he wouldn't be in the tournament this far.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Anyway,
now, who do we have waiting in the wings? Jeremy Sosi?
Jeremy.
Okay. So Jeremy will play the winner of this match.
We'll definitely play the winner of this match.
I thought that's what was going to take place.
And then we go to the finals.
Yeah, okay. Fantastic.
It's a tough grind from here for anybody.
Now, I've watched Travis a couple of times already. I forget what tournaments. I believe he was up in Providence, Rhode Island also.
He plays very well.
He came up with Mike Yetnick. So
And
I think he does play at Amsterdam.
He must be playing at Amsterdam.
Yeah. Larry, you've been around a long time.
Very long
You got to
time.
have some favorite road stories that you can share with the folks out on the news
I have a lot of
without
good ones. Yeah.
without any kind of insults and try to keep
No,
it PG
never.
rated.
Absolutely. GP all the way.
All right. GP.
I always tell you another Miz story in a minute.
All right.
You'll
Great
love it.
Steve Miserak.
You'll love it.
In fact, I talk with Steve
Yeah.
Miserak Jr.
Yeah.
Via Facebook,
Right.
you know, and phone. He's trying to get all the memories together. He did start a post on azbilliards.com. He wants people to post on the thread if they have any kind of memories about his dad, late Steve Miserak. You
Right.
can go to azbilliards.com and you can look that post up. He's trying to compose a book,
I know. I spoke with him at the U.S. Open last year.
right?
He was there.
Yes.
We talked a while.
All right, hit us 1-1. Oh, you got to clear your throat? Oh, just mute your mic right here and you can clear your throat anytime you want. Go right ahead, sir. As Larry attempts to use his Roto-Rooter machine, we'll let him clear his throat, and Travis McKinney staying in line.
Which one?
You're number 2 there,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you. Anyway, quick story. I had a young boy from North Carolina years back come up and play for me, and was a nobody knew him. He was a great player, great player.
What was his name, Larry?
David Carver.
Okay. Larry's got to step out and get a glass of water. We got the EMTs on scene, just in case he needs any kind of... we're always having a ball. Travis McKinney making the 8 and getting good shape on the 9. There's no reason why he wouldn't pocket this 9 and at least put 1 on his side of the scoreboard. And he does. It's 2-1 in favor of the great Earl. Larry will be back in a few minutes to finish up on the story. Mr. Ross is tuning his vocal cords up. Okay, Earl the Pearl. Gonna shoot it. Watch the 2-9. It hits the point. I don't believe D2 goes by the 9. I think we're going to see Travis attempt to play a 2-9 combination to try to tie this at 2 apiece. And that's what he's going to attempt to do. He's going to attempt to play the 2-9 combination here. As Mr. Ross clears his vocal cords, and he's now back on board. That's what he did. He played the 2-9 combination to tie this match at 2. We're racing to 9.
Anyway, pick up on the story. So I have this boy,
You have this gentleman Carver up here
right,
from
and
North Carolina.
right. At that time, he was about 18, 18 and a half. Just got out of high school, and used to be a pool room in Jersey called West End.
Oh,
It used to be a lot of gambling.
if you didn't go into West End, you weren't in a pool room
right.
back then.
And
The gambling room.
every
anyway.
Tuesday night, they had tournaments there, and Mizrak used to come there. Hopkins used to come. Everybody used to come.
Everybody.
Ray Martin,
Efren, you name it.
Calavito.
As the 9-ball falls into the hole, it counts here at the Josh
Right.
Northeast 9-ball tour, and Travis now up by 1, 3-2 over the mighty Earl Strickland.
And
Earl just said, "See how long I take the rack."
and well, that's all right.
Well, you know what he's saying is, I give good racks. You can make 9 balls off my racks. You know, you don't have to come and inspect them all the time. Is what Earl's trying to
Yeah, well,
pass the message along to the
I
outside
don't
crowd.
think Travis inspected anything.
No, he didn't. No, he's throwing that to the third person
Right,
out there.
Yeah. Anyway,
Go ahead.
so one night Steve walks in, the Miz, and
Go ahead.
says to me, and the boy's sitting right next to me, he says, "I hear you have some young boy up here from North Carolina, thinks he can play pool." Well, I'm ready to play. So I said, "Steve, you're my friend. You're in the record books. We could play, but the boy can't play even." He said, "He's got the 7-ball.
He says he got the 7 right out of the gate.
Right out of the gate. He's got the 7-ball. Literal.
You're not going to disturb Earl. We're sitting 30 feet away. Go ahead. You're okay.
No, I know.
Well, behind the glass booth.
Anyway, they may be more interested in watching than the story, but the story is good.
Go ahead. So Steve gives him the 7 out of the gate.
Out of the gate.
Offers him the 7.
50 a rack.
Okay. And this
Back
is at
then,
West End.
back in those days.
West End.
Yeah, 50 a rack on a pee-hole table.
Upstairs.
No, downstairs.
Downstairs?
First table coming in, table
Okay.
8.
Okay, that's where Efren played the gangster in
Yeah,
one
right,
pocket.
right.
All right, go ahead.
Anyway, before you know what happens, we're up 800 on Steve. Quick.
He's not liking it.
Oh, he says to me, "I'll tell you what," he says, "no more by the rack. I'll play you a race for 1,000, race to 11. So I said to him, "You know, Steve," I better not say what I said. I said,
Yeah.
"Just so you realize it, if I take that, you win, I lose 200.
Of course.
Right now, I'm holding 800 of your money.
Get in,
You
get out
wanna
the way
play?
you get in.
We play for 2,000. So, at least one of us goes home with something."
Okay.
So, everybody in the room started chirping and saying, "Go ahead, Steve, we'll cover the other 1,000. Don't worry, we got it," so on and so forth. And we play. And the boy beats Steve 11 at 11-6, 11-7. I think it was 11-7, and we get the money. Now the following week, I'll show you how far back this goes. The following week, Hopkins comes in
Dangerous.
with a backer.
Dangerous.
And he says, "You got the same game that Steve gave you." Okay.
Now, mind everybody should know out there that when Alan Hopkins walked in a pool room
Right.
back then,
He was
it
with.
was like the seas parted and everybody was just went away and shied away because he was a sharp shooting son of a
He
gun.
was the. He had a backer with him. I don't know if any of you people out there knew Tony Cartucci. He was the man that Rodney Morris stayed with when he first came over, when Brian sent him over from Hawaii, Hawaiian Brian. Anyway, Tony was a big-time gambler. He owned a big pool room down in Tom's River. And he was up there with Alan, play. So Alan says, let's play 100 Iraq. And before I know it, there were no games, races. This was 100 Iraq.
Yeah.
I'm down like 1,900. So I take Davey on the side, and I say, I don't mind losing. You know, we won with Steve. We got one other people.
Sure.
But I don't want to put good money after bad money.
Sure. You just keep piling it on.
So he says, I can beat him. In the interim, the pool room owner comes over to me. Mobile Bob. A lot of people, you probably heard of him. He's whatever he was.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, Mobile Bob. He says to me, you know, I have a 12 o'clock curfew here in the pool room. I'm down 1,900. Now, understand, West End had in the front a huge arcade and restaurant, and the pool room was behind it. So
Right, you went down
couldn't-
the aisle.
You couldn't see anything. From,
Tables on left and right
right,
as you
right,
walk down.
right. You couldn't see anything from the front window
Right.
or anything. So
You got to pay him to close the door.
he said to me, I have to close. So I said, well, what'll it take to stay open? He says, $50 an hour. 50 an hour. I said,
Which isn't much when you think about it.
I
you know,
said-
but back then it was money.
I said,
Yeah.
you got it. Because Davey had said to me, I can beat him. If you want to bet up, bet up. And we bet up. We went from
Being down
100
1,900.
to 200, ultimately to 300.
Iraq.
Anyway, I don't want to say how much we won, but
You-
and we set a curfew at 5:30 in the morning.
Really?
At 3:30 in the morning, Alan, he's my friend, and I love him, and he knows that.
Right.
Unscrewed, game over.
Okay. Wow, the guy was dangerous. Treacherous then.
yeah, he was a hell of a money player. Hell of
Wow.
a money player. In fact, I'll tell you who, without going into detail, if anybody asks Mike Davis who the best player ever to come out of Fayetteville was, he'll tell you. Davis. Right. I remember with the same boy, Jimmy Reed, also a good friend of mine, had won the U.S. Open that year. And he had a battle with him. They come from the U.S. Open from Virginia down through the Carolinas, and they hit Fayetteville. And he said, anybody in town has got the 7 ball. Anybody.
Right?
So I wasn't there, but I got a call from my mainstay there and said to me, told me the story. I said, well, that's all right. I said, he says, how much can I put up with Davey? I said, I'd go up to 3,000.
Right.
Anyway, Davey emptied Reed and his backer.
Wow.
And his backer, both.
Well, I'll tell you, there was a gentleman, and the name's going to sound familiar, but don't get it wrong. Keith Bennett, and I'm not talking about Keith
Oh.
Bennett. Not talking about Keith Bennett from the Carolinas. I'm talking about Keith Bennett from Detroit. He was from Detroit, and I ran into him.
Anyway, back, just a quick score,
It's 5-3 in
5-3.
favor of Earl. I believe 5-3.
Yeah, it's 5-3.
Let's give the viewers a flash and us a little memory fix. Okay, 5-3 in favor of Earl. Out of Detroit.
Yeah.
And I bump into him about 7 years ago or 8 years ago. We were down at SPE, and Gypsy, God rest his soul,
Yeah.
Gypsy was down there with me, and we put Keith Bennett in the box. He was down there with his girlfriend. He didn't have much money on him, and he just got out of a jam. And we gave him a couple hundred, and we said, okay, go to work. And when we came back, we were up 3,600 in a few hours. And I had the chance of sitting down and watching him play. And it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, there's people out there that have names that, not only across the sea, but in America that nobody knows.
Top players.
Top players, yeah. Smart ones.
Yeah. In fact, this Davy used to be on the road with Earl when they were kids. They had the same mentor that took them out.
Right.
When I say kids, I mean kids.
Right.
Like
Teenagers.
14.
Yeah. Teenagers.
Yeah. But he was a good taskmaster. He was my friend. They used to call him Dad. Freeman, his name was. And he was a hell of a pool scout. Even Earl will tell you today, he was a hell of a pool scout. He could spot talent in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And that was very interesting. I think back when we beat just about everybody that he played up here. I don't think I lost with him. Maybe I lost once or twice, but
Majority.
and
came
he
out
played. He could play all games. He could play. He had a slingshot stroke. He never bent down to shoot. Shot almost standing up.
Well, like a three-cushion billiard player. So to say.
He used to. He learned a lot about banking. He was a natural player, but he learned a lot about banking, etc. With he spent time with Bugs Rucker. Stayed with him a while, and yeah, he was a good boy. He went bad though. He went bad.
Is he still around, Larry, or is he gone?
He's alive, but
He's alive.
he went bad. So
Well, I'm sure he has some interesting stories.
yeah. Well, when I bailed him out a few times, but
Right.
he just went bad. And it's unfortunate because he was the nicest guy, nicest kid. Beautiful. In fact, when I sent three guys on the road at once. I sent him, Sammy Guzman,
Oh, Sammy, I remember.
may he
Sammy.
rest in peace,
Rest in
and what else? I think Dalton, Leon. Well, may he rest in peace also. And he's the only one I would trust with the money. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you could trust them all, but when they went out on the road, he had the cash.
So you went along every once in a while, but when
Yeah,
you didn't
I
want to
didn't.
go along.
Right. No,
Right.
not all the time. Well, I ran a big company. I mean, I wasn't. To me, it was recreation.
Yeah.
The room in Florida that I had bought was purely like for recreation. I was out of the country a lot, different, flying all over the world, and for business. And when I'd come back, I might take a month, go down there, hang out. And I had two good managers over the time I owned it. Unfortunately, when I sold it, the family that bought it didn't want to listen. They had a cash cow there.
Right.
I mean, the place never shut. When I sold it to them, that day, I went and made the announcement to the new owners, and whatever was in the place, the rest of it was all theirs. I mean,
Right.
that's what it was. And they were nice people, don't get me wrong. They just weren't business people. Yeah, but everybody played in that room. I ran some big tournaments. That was a 16-table room. I ran 2 tournaments and paid out $38,000 in prize money, both tournaments.
Wow. Nice tournament.
Nobody's doing that anymore today.
Players auctions and the whole 9 yards back then?
No auction.
Just straight up cash.
No auction.
Wow.
I never took a penny out. But I used to run different kind of tournaments they ran here. I ran, you'd have to play 2 weekends in a row. So it was $400 entrance fee. Big prize money, though. Everything back in. And that was it. Where are we here, anyway?
We're at Raxx Pool Room, West Hempstead,
No,
Long
I mean,
Island,
we're
at
at
7 to 3.
7. I don't want.
I know you're not that gone.
No, I
I'm
don't
only kidding
want
with
to. Yeah.
said
I'm
that
sure you
guy.
people out there are not interested in my war stories.
No,
I,
actually, I find them very
I have
interesting. You know,
plenty of
we
war
got to hear them when
stories.
we get the chance,
I
Larry.
have plenty of war stories. I remember, and of course, Jose Parica played for me and still does for
Haven't heard.
25, 30. No, Jose's okay.
Is that on
Don't
the
forget
West
he's
Coast?
60, 65 now. He and his wife, they have a house on one of the lakes out in California. I talk to him.
Good.
Maybe
Wish him well
once
from
or
all of
twice
us.
a
Maybe
week.
he's tuning in.
Yeah, and in fact, Chad had him play out in Denver in that tournament, the Nick Bonner Open.
Yes, the
He
Nick
brought
Bonner
him,
Classic.
yeah, he asked me, and I said, yeah, I'll get him. He'd play for you. And he didn't really function that well. He didn't play that well. But if you want to know war stories, I could tell you what was with Jose was the best money player ever. I don't know anybody.
Including Efren back
Oh,
then.
forget about it. No comparison.
Right.
We played, my God, and when I think about the money back then and compared to what they play for today, I'll tell you a quick one. Playing, I get a call from Tony Cartucci, the same fellow that I mentioned before,
Yeah.
from Tom's River. He said to me, I want to play Parica one pocket. I got a player. Okay, where are we here?
Earl is on the hill, and
Earl's
Travis
on the hill.
McKinney is stuck at 3.
Anyway, I said, who's the player? I won't mention the player's name. He happens to be a friend and a real great guy. Okay?
You're going to keep everybody in suspense?
Well, the player will know. If he wants to tell people, he will.
Well, you know the story.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Can we have
no,
initials?
no,
Can we have any kind of initials? I'm trying to pull it out of Larry.
JF.
All right, Jay.
Leave it at that.
All right.
Okay? And Tony was putting the money up. And he's going to play Jose even one pocket. That was it. Jose was awesome. It cost me a lot of money for him to learn to play one pocket. I'll get into that later, maybe. But he was awesome. He was in the top 3 one pocket players all over. Right up there with Efren and, super player.
Right.
And this was hard to believe, people. This was a race to 10. Race to 10.
One pocket.
No, I'm sorry. It was 10 ahead for 10,000.
That could take 10 years.
10 ahead for 10,000.
Yeah.
So, in fact, my backup on the story, if you ever wanted to check, Jeanette Lee. She rode down with us in the car from New York, along with my friend Scott Nikovsky and Jose and myself. We drove down there, and the pool room, there was nobody in there. It was at night, nobody there. And it was a big room Tony had. And they went to the back where his good one pocket table was, and I didn't want to sit around and watch. So I went in. He said to me, I'll hold the money. I said, no, it's all right. I'm fine with it. No problem. There's nobody here. I don't worry about it. Anyway, back at the ranch, I dropped Jeanette and my buddy off down the road. She wasn't married or anything at the time. It was a long time ago.
Right. Yeah.
And I left them off at like a club down the road a little bit. They went in to have a beer or something, whatever. And I wasn't drinking, and so I hung out a little. Then I went back to the pool room. This was about 2 hours after they started. I come in there, and I walk to the back. I look at the beads. Jose's down 6 games, 10 ahead.
1 second, Larry, because Earl Strickland just defeated Travis McKinney in that set. So Travis McKinney will take 4th place in the Josh Northeast 9-Ball Tour here at Raxx. He has eliminated Earl Strickland is going to play Jeremy Sosi in a few minutes. I believe that's the next matchup, as Mike DeShane awaits in the hot seat. We're going to get right back to Larry's story in just a second, as you hear the applause from the fans. Yes, Larry, go ahead. So you drop Jeanette Lee off, you go back, and Parica's down 6-0 in a 10
right.
ahead, one pocket, $10,000
JF is up 6.
Yeah.
And fine, it's a game. I mean, I put money up before. You win or you lose. I went out again. I guess I was a little disgusted because I know how good Jose plays, and I know he's straight as an arrow.
Yeah.
110%. Never would think of
right. Any kind of moves. Yeah.
Any move. And because I made a lot of money with him, we both made a lot of money together.
Yeah, go ahead.
I come back 3 hours later. Jose's up 6 games.
Wow.
As soon as I walk in, JF comes over to me and says, Larry, you got to let me out. So I said,
for $5,000?
No, I said, I'm going to let you out. You know, it's not my money I'm playing for. I can't beat the guy.
Right.
Anyway, since he's dead, it won't make a difference.
You let him out?
I said, okay. I said, get him over here, Tony. I said, I'll take 6 pieces. I'll take 6 pieces.
Right.
He says, well, I'll hold the money, come back tomorrow, we'll continue the game. Tomorrow, we're all going to Las Vegas for a big tournament. So I said, I tell you what. Give me the 6. You have my home number. You want me, you call me. And I come back to gamble.
Right.
Of course, I got the 6. He never called. That was the end of the whole thing. But how funny it was. I mean, when I think about it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
People, we'll be back.
We'll be right back with another match. Stand by.